Welcome back to the Runaround. This is Greg Jubb and Brad Jager. We're talking to Coach Andy Young of Millersville University and James McBride, one of the school's top distance runners. Their track and cross-country programs are in danger of being eliminated, and now they're going to tell us about what they're trying to do to prevent that. Coach Young, welcome aboard.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing well. So tell us, how did this all get started?
Well, I guess about 2 weeks ago, I was called in as I'm the union rep for the coaches here at Millersville, and I was called into a special meeting one morning and kind of dropped the bombshell on me that, hey, we're not going to have cross-country indoor or outdoor track, and kind of went through all the reasons and asked us to immediately contact the team, and they brought in our head track and field coach, Scott Weiser, and let him know that his position wouldn't be renewed either, and it was a pretty quick, painful experience that day a couple weeks ago.
This is Brad, did you have any idea at all that this was going to happen?
We were a little bit blindsided by this one, I got to admit. We did not see it coming.
So tell us, were you the first to learn this as the coach, and did you have to deliver the news to the athletes, or how did it pan out in terms of who received the news?
Well, what they did is they informed me as a union rep, but also as a coach. They were letting me know, and then they let the head track and field coach know, and then a woman by the name of Dr. Aminta Bro, who's our VP for Student Affairs, let the whole men's team know, and then they later brought in the women's team and let them know too, because obviously, we're a combined program, and that same coaches work with men and women here, and it pretty heavily affects both the men's and the women's team. So it was a very, very upsetting day for everybody involved, and we weren't sure how to react at that point. So things have snowballed since, but that was a really tough day for us.
Right, and we talked to the University of Maryland coach Andrew Valman and one of their athletes, Zach Ray, when we learned that their programs were getting cut. And one of the first things that Zach told us is that, of course the men were very upset by it, but, even visibly more upset was the women's team, because it's a team unit. And when I ran in college, I always looked at the women's team as my teammates. It wasn't like two separate teams. How have the women handled this?
I think initially they felt guilty because they're being spared because they are women, and the university announced that Title IX was part of their decision-making process. So to kind of put them on there, in that position, it was a little unfair, and they did feel awful because they couldn't do anything about it. They were thankful that they still had a program, but yet they feel terrible because they train with these guys. They're going to dinner with them every night. Some of the women actually do train with some of the guys on our team, so they did take a big hit. They were, I'd agree, they were probably more upset, or at least more visibly upset than our men's team at that point. Our men's team was just really mad, and the women's team was just really shooken up. So it was a tough reaction for them too, and nobody saw it coming, like I said.
Right, and you mentioned Title IX. Now, is this a situation where the primary reason is budgetary, and then Title IX is also kind of lurking in the background, or is this primarily Title IX?
In talking with the university officials, it sounds like budget is their primary thing, and they did throw Title IX out there. Seems to me maybe Title IX might have been more of almost like a crutch for them to not point out what exactly they were doing 100%. That's what it felt like as a coach. I think now since then they've kind of backed off the Title IX thing because, a lot of people have checked into that for us, and the research and looking at have we ever had a problem, do we have any investigations against us, and the answer was no to all of that. We meet compliance with Title IX, so I think the university has kind of backed off that one, but that initially was what was put out there to us, so we were everyone was feeling awful about that decision, and that was one of the reasons why.
Have you been given any options of any ways that you might be able to save the program?
We've been trying to work with the university on this one, and we wish that they had come to us as a major stakeholder in this decision and talked to us about maybe things we could have done. If it was truly just a budget thing, we feel like we might have been able to find some help or find some outside sources of funding or make some cutbacks or, drop indoor track and field to save the rest of it, something to save the program. And unfortunately that wasn't done. They just informed us, and that's how it went down. So we've been trying to work with them, and we're hopeful that we can get this program reinstated. but it's going to require that somebody in administration actually want to overturn that decision, and it's hard to predict what administrators want. So that's where we're at right now.
And from what we've gathered from the University of Maryland and from your situation, sometimes administrators just seem unyielding. They have a vision with where the cuts are going, and sometimes it can be tough to change their mind. What do you think it's going to take to get them to change their mind? I've read that Millersville cross country and track has the school's only NCAA championship. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. We are the men's cross country 1981 national champions. It was our first year in Division II. We were a non-scholarship program then, and we're virtually a non-scholarship program now. But yeah, it's a point of accomplishment that many, and we have thousands of alum that are extremely proud of that. And, you know, we've had some other really good teams and some great athletes come through this program, like James Carney, who just finished, I think, 9th at the Olympic Trials Marathon, graduated here in 2001. And, you know, we have a good history of being competitive and turning out some very good athletes. So, again, for our program, we want to bring it back. We think we need to bring it back. It's one of the most successful athletic programs historically that the university has had, and to let it go like this is very troubling for a lot of people.
Is there anything that athletes from around the country or in this area can do to help you maybe get the program restored?
Well, I think, James might be able to speak to this one a little bit better than I. The students, well, James, go ahead.
Yeah, we've been working very hard as athletes to find areas and places to figure out how to just approach this situation. And we started, what we first did was we started a Facebook group, and we used Twitter to just network our problem to people all over across the country. And we also created a petition through signon.org for the Millersville cross country and track and field team. And we've had, I guess it's been 2 weeks, and we've had over 6,800 people sign the petition, including athletes like Tyson Gay, James Carney, and Chris Zielinski. And we're just, one part is just to help get our petition up and just show that how many people care about track and field and how important it is, not only from an athlete perspective, but what people do after they graduate, as many athletes here become head coaches, and there's plenty of people, and especially teachers that were from Millersville University and was on the track and field team that are head coaches for high school programs and making a difference in students' lives.
Right. And James, we're sorry we didn't address you earlier. We thought you were going to call on a separate line. We didn't realize you were on the same line with Coach Young. But we just want to say we at Running Maryland fully support you guys. We'll be sure to put all information about what we can do and what others can do to help the program on runningmaryland.com. We already have on our social media pages. But Coach Young, James, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And, I mean, like we said, a lot of championships going on, but definitely more to come. You know, as always, follow us here on ESPN 1300 AM, and follow us on our social media pages. Go to Facebook, look up The Runaround on ESPN Radio, and look for more to come.